This heartbreak.
Pain turned me to become a writer.
And then there was now HIV just as Abacha was dying. So I just thought that, what will I do? I thought I was going to kill Abacha, but Abacha died.
Like, I was going for auditions, and for some reason, we like how you sound, but they don't call me back.
You're not yellow.
I'm not yellow, but I will not bleach.
Interesting, that doesn't work for me in the same bank that Dara worked.
Yeah, you mentioned, I remember.
But I said that I'm not going to do this. Welcome to the very, very first episode of
LifeWork by
Design. Hey. So just two coms girls coming together to have conversations about life and work and living on design particularly because you know you got one life and you got to make it count and everything can be better if you're intentional about it.
Yeah, I agree.
And you know we're going to be talking a lot about the work that makes our life work because as my friend always says, work is
gift.
Work is a gift.
It is a gift, for real, yeah.
You should use it very well. So, this is my friend, the Ree from Paris, looking the leash every time me.
Hey, Bumi.
We've been friends for like donkey years, like from Unilag, and then after Unilag, and we've grown. Now comes careers, very, very nice detours and calls.
I'm telling you, man.
We'll tell you all about it in due course. Let's not drag. But we just thought that we had lots of wonderful stuff to share with young women like us who are trying to make it all work. We're trying to make every part of it work. Your work, your life, your purpose. Just trying to live life by design. And we don't claim to know it all.
At all. In fact, we're still learning. There's a lot to learn, a lot ahead of us.
Yeah, it's a full journey. But maybe we can journey together and just do amazing things together. So expect premium gist about life and work. Expect tidbits you won't hear anywhere else. Expect real life situations, real life issues and everything. But first, let's get to meet the delectable quintessential.
Bumi the hype. Bumi has it too much. My name is Dara, and that's my friend Bunmilofe. Bumi, I'm sure with time we will get to let you know what her full name is. I usually tease her that I'm sure Wahe and Jam could not deal with
it. Yes, you're not ready for it. When you're ready for it,
but her name is Bunmilofe. So my name is Dara, and that's Bumi, and both of us are comms girls. And like she already said, we're going to be doing this for the longest time, I hope. And at the core of everything we're going to be discussing here is going to be the God perspective. So we're trying to bring that to the fore. You know, I know that that might not be pop culture right now, but it should be, because whether we like it or not, we're created by this God, you know.
By design. Design.
And at the core of everything that we do, somehow it is about him.
So to help us ease into the conversation, we wrote down a few questions and we'll just pick randomly and then try to answer. And hopefully by the time we are done, you get to know us better, you get to know what this show is about, and you want to join us again next week and the week after. And the week after the week. Okay, so we're starting. Dara.
Okay. Father has a donkey. Donkey died. Father.
Who roast that right?
Ask my primary school people.
Creativity, please.
Oh my god. So, okay. This one says, what your most remarkable, or defining experience at work so far? So, Bumi, do you want to go first?
My most remarkable defining, very, very quick. I remember my first job as a copywriter and advertising agency. I had this amazing boss who wasn't amazing at the beginning. And when she joined, she had joined. So our MD had said, go and meet her at home and learn from her when I first joined, like my first week. He had said, there's this fantastic woman you have to learn from. She doesn't work here anymore. But go to her house and help us. So I'd gone to her house. I had a conversation with her. She said, I think you'll be fine. I think you'll be okay. You have the basic things. But then, a year after, she joined the company back. And now she's my boss. I got comfortable with just reporting directly. But she joins the company back and now she's my boss. And then we started having issues. So I just sent her work and she'd be like, I expected much more from her. What's all this? I thought they said you were smart. But what was defining for me, something that she used to say. She used to say, Bumi, I don't have to like you to like your work. If your work is good, even if I hate you, I'll have to admit that your work is good. Do work so good that even if I'm a hater,
you will not deny the fact that.
And that thing, guys, it became the mantra for my career. It has beautiful for my career. Like, whether you like me or not, you don't even have to like my God. You don't have to like the way I carry my God. You don't like it. But you are going to have to agree that the girl is good. And that's it.
Love it.
That I always refer to like the career defining moment for me. So you, my darling.
So I think I don't know, for me, there's been quite a number of, I don't know if I can remember anyone that's like really that stands out. But for me, I think one would be back in the day when I was still in the bank. And it was a very painful period, you know. I think I'd had the very terrible heartbreak. You know that heartbreak?
Yeah, that heartbreak.
Oh my God. But you know, as painful as the heartbreak was, my dear, that month, my NPR, went at the NPR, they put out the graphs.
Guys, NPR is
monthly performance review.
Yes,
banks, yeah.
Banks do it. Some other companies do it as well.
Yeah, so, and I didn't go. My boss, my team lead went. So she came back and said, Dara, they I don't know, they showed the graph and your figures were the highest.
Like, heartbreak is good for me.
I reject it in Jesus' name.
Of course not.
Oh my God.
Like, what?
So the thing was, okay, the thing at the time was, the pain was so much that I had to focus all the energy, you know, to work. Like, I had to focus everything I had.
And you know what they say about how the best songs and the best things come from that place of...
So, and then, you know how some people that had more experiences, that were more experienced than I was, were still struggling to. And usually, before then, I used to be like the baby of the house. I mean, I was the youngest in my team at the time. People would be like treating like 70 to 100 transactions. I'm still struggling with 50, 60. And like, she's very slow with processing transactions. But that month, I surprised myself. I was like, oh, wow, really?
I can do this.
Really?
Like,
you know?
Your inner recesses.
So one thing, it taught me something. It taught me that I don't know, the more passionate you are about your work, the more you are into your job. You know, there's a difference between doing your work and just doing your work. Like, the more your spirit, soul, and body is inside, trust me, like, the results are exponential.
Wow,
like, you have no idea. From then on, it just helped me. Like, Dara, if you put everything in this, you'll see.
You can get results.
Yeah.
Remarkable. So thank you, Mr. Breakfast. I've been abusing you for years.
God, I can't believe this.
I've been abusing you for years.
Breakfast.
Every day. I remember you just throw you a little. But today, for the very first time, maybe you're not so bad after all.
I just hope
love and light.
I just hope we don't. I hope we won't have bad break stories in this episode. But finally, just
love and light. Okay, so let's see. What's next? This one here says 4 adjectives to describe this podcast. 4 adjectives to describe this podcast. What comes to mind?
Refreshing.
I like that one. Inspired. I say inspired. Inspired.
Yeah. What else can we say? I'll say amazing.
Yes, and I say instructive, because I hope that you just find clarity as you listen to us.
Yeah, true.
And maybe you guys can tell us in the comments as you have listened to us.
True. Okay, so next is for me to go. Let's see. Let them ask me one very hard. Bumi. You want to see this? What has your career journey been like so far?
Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty. Not really quite happy, but like,
roller coaster.
Let's hear it. Our story is very interesting.
Bumi, are you sure? Because of time. Because if we sit here, the producer will send us away from the studio.
I present to you a very, very intentional lady, very decisive, who gets up and does what she needs to do.
Not too. Bumi, you give me such. So, anyways, guys, I started from working in a bank, right? And again, the God journey. I wanted to do funny enough, I wanted to do this. So, like, I was going for auditions. I went to TV. Okay, let me not mention actually, I went to a few broadcast stations. And for some reason, we like how you sound, but they don't call me back. We like how you sound. They never call me back.
You're not yellow.
I'm not yellow. But I will not bleach. I will not bleach. So, guys, and then, it went up like that. And one day I was in the house and my mom told me, what is your problem? Masker, man. Can it cost? I put it on my wall room. Best broadcaster of the year. Like, I put a lot of broadcasting. I just wanted to speak English, but God said no, not now, my daughter. So one day I was having my devotion, and I heard my mom murmuring. So after devotion, I went to. They said, so I saw this thing on newspaper. This bank is recruiting, and there's this workforce. We know workforce now. Via workforce, apply. And quickly, I didn't answer my mom. I struggled. My mom had worked in a bank for years, and I didn't want to, because I saw her trajectory. It wasn't too good. Of course, she was doing well when she was at the bank. But when she left banking and she had to resign, almost like a forceful resignation because of some merger that happened with the bank she was working at the time, she now started her own small business and stuff. But I just felt like my mom could have been more. As she always says to me, that she could have probably been a teacher, owned the school at the time if she pursued her dreams. And she usually told us that we should be very careful. Like, it's good to work in the bank, they give you all the money, but you should be very careful not to throw away your dreams and all of that. So I took that advice and So when she told me apply, I said, Mommy, no, it was no, we quarreled. I'm like, no, bank, never, no. Okay. So for 1 week, I didn't even answer her. She called all my cousins and her nieces and nephews and, people that are waiting for a job. All of them applied. So one day she was in the kitchen singing, I want me, Taniko She, Kenny, other children will obey you. Your own is hard like this to obey your mother. So I wanted to pray that day, and trust me, I couldn't pray. I just felt like obey your parents in the Lord.
This is right.
It is the right thing to do. So I just felt like, God, I'm sorry, I will obey her, but can I just pray this prayer in peace? I promise I will. So I started feeling guilty. So I applied. You believe it, Bumi. And in 2 days, I got a call, come for an interview. I had back to back. Long story short, I got it. And I knew God had a hand in it because prior to that time, I was praying. I heard in my spirit, you get a job in May. Guess what? The job was coming in May. And then final interview with the board or people that I entered the head of the interview panel. Guess what? Went to my secondary school.
Oh, that's one way.
Mayflower. Hey, God, I said God just cut me. So imagine you go for an interview and then it wasn't really the interview. You were just about school. Is Mr. Kiniko still there? Oh, is that man still there? And even the other guys were looking at their girl like, oh, girl, alpha. Anyways, exactly. So I got the job and stuff. And then, I don't know, after 1 year, I started getting dissatisfied. I just thought that there was more I could do with myself. I mean, I'd always wanted to do comms. And back to what he said, the other one was speaking before we went on air. About how I just felt like I was called to create content that would change mindsets. That's the summary of everything. So doing comms for me is like, comms for me is a means to an end. It's not the end in itself, right? Mm-hmm. So I just told myself, okay, you know what? Let's just be here and then you figure it out. After 1 year, I got confirmed, more money, more loan allowance and loan access and all of those things. I was telling myself, don't go and be deceived. Don't
get comfortable.
I kept going to TV stations. Funny enough, a lot of my friends. I'm not joking. Shout out to Oga Timothy Ozegbe. I don't know if he's listening to this, but I think so far he's been one of the best bosses I've ever had.
So it was like, you have an audition.
I'm not joking. I could tell Timothy that I was going to 14 cell auditions, and he'll say, I give you 2 hours. I'm not joking, guys. And he'll tell me,
some bosses are great. I think we should do an episode for bosses.
And usually I think we will. And he would tell me, but you would pay back. So when people were closing at 6, I'll close at 8, 9. Because the hours that I've gone for auditioning, but I'm not even joking. So I run out by like 12:1, I'm back by 4. And I'm sweating. Thank you, sir. I got him back. Thank you, sir. And he just gives me an eye. Aspa, get back to work. But my point was I kept pushing, I kept trying, I just wanted to. But anyways, that didn't happen, and anyways, I just calmed down. Then heartbreak happened. This heartbreak, I think it was the defining moment of my life, and heartbreak.
Was the point where you started and say, who am I?
Yeah, so, what do I want to do? And that was where I wrote. So in the pain of that, I felt like my spirit was going to leave my body, the kind of pain I felt. Anyways, in the midst of all of that in my room, I wrote my first poem.
This heartbreak,
Pain turned me to become a writer.
This is becoming the breakfast edition.
I'm not joking, guys.
Your breakfast might not be bad in 2024.
So do you know that? And then I wrote my first poem. I think Naked Convos was a thing at the time.
Yes,
I sent it to Naked Convos. It didn't get published because they thought it was very. I put all my emotions like it was almost like I was naming names like So anyways, from there, I decided, you know what, there had to be a point. I had to do something. I would join at the bank that I was at the corporate comms manager. I'll write to him, I want to meet you. He'll say, okay, come and see me. Why are you so ambitious? Do you want to get married? Why are you? I was 24 at the time. I just wanted this comms, yeah. Anyways, long story short, I decided, you know what, I had to make a move. Study abroad. I was applying to Manchester, Sussex. The scholarship limits were not something I could, get at the time. And I said, okay, last resort for me was School of Media and Communications, Pan Atlantic University. I did that, and you had gone earlier.
I just
so I remember then Bumi was like my lifesaver because she would call me, how are you? You're feeling better, don't worry. And then I'll be asking you about questions. Yeah, mode of payment. You told me, don't worry, it's fine. You pay this way. Don't worry, you can be. So it was quite encouraging. So
very good school, by the way.
Yeah.
If you're thinking about communications now.
So since Bumi had gone there and she vetted the place, I'm like, oh, fantastic. It would be good to. You were FT7, right? Yeah, I was FT9, full time 7 sets, full time 9. So yeah. So then I got into there. So I think going to School of Media and leaving the banking industry what gave me. So I saved all my money. I used all my savings to pay school fees and lived. Yeah, and I lived on the remaining money. I did some money every month. Pay this one will be your living expenses or nada.
By design, guys. By design.
So I had to take intentional steps to and so that worked. And then it was good to also choose School of Media. It was strategic for me because I felt that they had a way of helping you to not just complete your schoolwork, but they will help you. They'll find you a placement in the industry. So I felt that would be a good entry point. Me that I'm going for auditions and telling me no. Anyways, that got me into the industry, and then I've been on and on from film production companies to PR
to tech.
Something we shall take me.
This madam has done everything.
No, funny enough, it's not how you think that you have done everything. No, it's people that recommend me. If I now looking back now at the trajectory, looking back at the trajectory of my career, I feel like people have recommended me. It's very than the one that I got for myself.
Recently, they're saying, no, you don't understand. She's not banking, she's not consulting, she's not.
She's done PR. Okay.
We can't afford that.
Really?
Yeah, but that's how it is, right? And
so, and now I'm here. But I must say, it's not as easy. Maybe one of the episodes where we get to talk about the nitty-gritty of stuff. It was a very painful experience, trust me. Very painful. I mean, of pay cuts. The next company after PA, you didn't want to pay me what I was earning in the bank because they felt like you didn't have any comms experience. You had more risk management and banking experience, so you had to almost start from scratch. I was reporting to people that were now younger than me, the basketballs, crying in the toilet,
Almost every career person has had that cry.
Yeah.
Especially if you have banking your history.
Like it was and then the point where the Christian girl in me, the kind of girl that I was expecting, I think God would just make so when the Bible says shine your light, it gets why. Because God already knows where he put us. It's not like anything is catching God unawares, Because I was not expecting that I would just go to one work environment to just be spiritual. Come on, wow. I had to call Benga, PG, you are listening. PG, I said, hello, I think I'm in Sodom and Gomorrah. One of the office spaces.
When university comes is a very... you're not starting from production. Which is like the height of... It's like...
PG had to advise me. I said, Dara, don't worry. Even Daniel was in Babylon.
PG is one of our friends, if you're wondering.
Yeah, in fact, PG was like my spiritual father, like the Paul and Apollos that watered and planted me into the work of Jesus. So anyways, but my point is, it was just a lot of, but now here I am.
And when you look back, it just makes sense. All the things and how it comes together.
That thing Steve Jobs said is really true.
About how every part of your life,
it makes sense when you look in retrospect.
Behind, yes,
because everything that I've had to do now somehow requires what I have been through. Mm-hmm. So in my head, I'm like, what if I didn't go through? How would I have been able to?
What if I didn't get to do that? So we don't try to boycott process. We just
we can't
do everything. I was talking to one of my mentees recently. He just got into a job and he was talking about how at this job everybody's old, it's boring. Their marketing is a cake. You can't stay here.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you've been doing startups. It's time to learn structure. Sit down there and learn structure.
I agree.
And learn how things work, learn how they think. Yeah. One day soon, you're going to sit in front of the board and maybe be the CEO, and they will be 95, and they have all the money that you need, and you're going to understand how they think. Let's talk to them. So just every opportunity, even if it looks boring or dead or something, of course, you're not a tree, you can move off from it. But while you are there, you put your heart and everything to it, and you do it well. Because it's a gift. So the very last one before we
you were supposed to answer that part. Bumi, you ran away. Bumi's you need to hear Bumi's trajectory, guys. I'm not even joking.
Okay, I think it's come up in this one. Okay. Because this one says, what's your life work? And how did you know? So I think I'll just share my experience and then so my life work and how did I know? I think that now I looking back, I think that my life work is to engineer behavior via communications. I believe that words are very powerful tools. Yeah. And I believe that when people know better, they will do better. So whether I'm selling a product, I'm selling an idea, or I'm pushing a course, or I'm promoting a life pattern, I believe that you can engineer behavior via communications. And if you look at history, that's the tool by which people made things happen, really. Yeah. Wars and stuff is at the center, is in the middle of it. Even God had to talk to create the world. So I believe that I was made to engineer behavior to help people find their footing, and you take giant steps and do stuff in life by encountering something I created. So I'm a creative who's engineering behavior and changing things by. And how did I come to know this? So I wanted to be. So from being from a child, as a child, I already knew I was going to be a big deal. Yeah. I'm not a big deal yet.
You were a big deal, huh? Calling things that be not as though they were, and you already are anyways.
And I go, my name one day. So I always thought I was going to be a very big deal. So I remember when I was like a child and I was like growing, it was the days of Abacha and all the drama.
That's not stuff.
And then there was now HIV just as Abacha was dying. So I just thought that, what will I do? I thought I was going to kill Abacha, but Abacha died. And I felt felt like
please,
the next big thing is to find the cure to HIV.
Yeah.
And I was my parents, I'm like, how is the way out tree? What if that's the cure to HIV? They'll be like, if you want to wait for it to grow, for why the cure would not be too late. But then I just thought I was going to do something very remarkable, and everybody would just know me, a part of history. I still feel so. And then so pharmacy was my first point of call. But when I got to the science class, chemistry was not chemistry, so I knew I wasn't going to do that. Then I wanted to do architecture, but then my parents brought some architects to me just to get a sense. I felt like,
very intentional parenting there.
I don't want to do design that. Then I crashed into arts class in SS3, and then they brought lawyers to meet me because law is the next big thing. And those lawyers, it was a particular one I remember. The guy came to our house and then we had a conversation, and then it was time for him to pray. I think maybe it was to bless food or something. I took 20 minutes to pray this prayer, guys. I love praying. But
I'm sorry, wait, Bumi, wait, chill. 20 minutes for food.
Yes, it was like we're laying the case to God. It started from Nigeria, the economy, what the world powers were doing, how
on food to bless food. Oh, come on.
Leadership was funny.
That's closet prayers now.
Of food, and how after everything we're able to afford it, how it works in our system. The guy basically just get to just finish the prayer with these few points of mine.
I hope I've been able to confuse you finally.
Or something like, I said no, I don't want this life.
So you just thought through the prayer. I think I will talk too much or something.
And then he had very massive glasses, and every lawyer I knew, I noticed that they actually had like very thick glasses.
So what did that mean to you?
He looked so happy. Some books. So I said I was going to do.
Okay.
So the next big thing was communications or art, because I could draw and paint to large extent. And then I was looking for the school that would offer it, and I went to UNN because they had a very good track record. But the first school to start mass comm in Nigeria. Did UNN for a semester, but I had some drama there, and then I left, and then I went to CU, SKB Ego, and then I went to Unilag. CU did not expel me, in case you're wondering. I ran my own by myself. Fantastic school, by the way. Fantastic, amazing school. I recommend it any day. Then I went to Unilag, and then I met amazing people like
maybe you probably would not be sitting here if you didn't.
Yes,
see how God just redirect.
The people I met in Unilag,
guys,
the people I met in Unilag, pivotal. That's the word. Just pivotal. And that's where it made sense. I got into the journalism stream because I thought that was going to be my, if I'm not going to create the cure to HIV, maybe I'll be like Diligiwa, investigate something, I'll just erupt the government, they'll be looking for me, I'll not go into them, I'll not have to escape to another country.
God, I beg.
I was just like, we have to do something great. It's investigation journalism.
Excuse me.
I did internship at the Nation. Fantastic place, fantastic, and fantastic bosses who explain everything to us. They allowed us to get our hands into things. And the more I reported stuff, the more I went to my beat to get stories, the more I realized that's not what I wanted to do. By the way, I've always been like a writer.
Yeah, true.
I feel like my writing
from school days.
It's not. If I can say to myself, it's not like my regular writing. I'm actually like a talented writer. So that's always been there. So I knew that was what I wanted to do, and then I got into advertising just by design, I would say, because I had 3 options before me. NYC, I've been praying and fasting. After NYC, what's going to happen? I felt the call to go home and rest for like 2 months, and then I was going to start to work in May. I'm not joking.
Are you serious?
Oh
my God!
Because we finished NYC like February, so I was home March and April. So my parents got to me March. Interestingly, that doesn't work for me in the same bank that Dara worked.
You mentioned. I remember.
In that same bank, but I said I'm not going to do this. That I felt like I was supposed to just stay and do something. And a leading blogger reached out at the time. That was the day when blogging was just becoming a thing. And said, "Come and work with us. You're a writer." But then that wasn't working like that. But there was this remote. There was this advertising agency somewhere on the island that's called, and I felt like that was it. So I packed my bag and came to Lagos in May and started that job. And copywriting, masters, client side, digital content. And we've come here now, and I'm leading the brand team. And the journey has been quite a lot. But I think that in everything, what's been clear to me is the power that communication has. You can literally change the way people do everything if you help them see their perspective. And I think it's a huge gift. So my life work, ladies and gentlemen, is to engineer behavior and lead people the way they should go. Maybe toward my products that I'm selling, or toward the life they should be living via communication. And we've answered a lot of questions.
That makes it 2 of us. I completely agree.
Absolutely. So that's what we'll be doing on this podcast every week. We'll be talking about issues that pertain to life and to work and how to get ahead by design. So join us again next week.
What are we going to discuss next week? I think we'll not let the cat out of the bag now. So you can guess. Just put it in the comment section. No.
Big shout out to the Few Studios for organizing. We just showed up. They had everything set up. We just showed up.
Yeah.
And and they're amazing. So if you want to do video production of any kind, they do for corporates and stuff.
Just before we go, so I was going to say, you can help us amplify this video or podcast, whichever forms that you're listening to right now, to anybody that you know that would be interested in this kind of content, especially young ladies, young guys who are looking to navigate through that path that God has, set for them. Especially with respect to their life work. I mean, their careers, their businesses, or just life in general. In general.
Especially there are faith people who are thinking that can I make it in the world? The corporate world is even the world of business. It's like it's asking for a lot.
Yeah.
It's possible to be successful and still be in faith.
Yeah, you can.
Proof that it is.
You can.
So we'll be sharing these things. So
we will.
And it's going to be interesting. And if you have dilemmas in your journey into that you think is worth talking about, please also share with us.
Yeah.
We can bring it to the table.
Yeah, try and discuss.
Bring the elders.
Real elders.
to talk about it.
Yeah,
So that's it for today. It's been nice chatting with you guys. Let's know what you think about the podcast or the video. Let's know.
Yeah.
And you can follow Dara on Instagram.
That's true. Oluhdee on Instagram.
You can follow me at LifeWork on Instagram.
Yeah.
And you can just reach out and
say hello.
So see you next week. Remember to live life by design. And remember that your work is what?
A gift.